Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Quantum Bridge again with myself, Gary. We have Casper as always. Hello, Casper.
Hello, mate.
And we have a welcome return guest bringing all the gold. Casper, can you introduce our guest for today, please?
Well, probably the name has given it away being on the screen, but yeah, we're really, really pleased. I can't smile wide enough to have Dr. Kia Pruitt with us again after quite some time. So welcome, Kia. It's lovely to see you.
Good morning, Grand Rising. At least here it's in the morning. Good afternoon to you all. Thank you so much for the welcome. I'm excited to be here.
It's been a
Yeah, it's
while.
lovely to see you. Thank you very much for returning, Kia. Obviously, keen to know what's been happening in your world, but specifically for this recording, feel free to go anywhere with this, Kia. But we're all feeling, I think, a sense of this manifestation and taking ownership of that, and not necessarily looking outward, but looking inward and not worrying too much about what the outward reflection looks like at the moment. So, which is obviously good in my case. But anyway, Kia, over to you. How are you feeling? What are you seeing? What are you feeling? What's your sense in terms of the world that you're picking up on, particularly in terms of energy and people?
Well, thank you so much. In terms of what we see, actually what you see if you look with your natural eye is a lot of bad news. You see the high inflation, the high gas prices, the high food prices. You see the dollar dropping in value as the BRICS coalition, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, decides to drop the dollar and use their own currencies for trade. So the mainstream media will make you think that all is so bad. The whole world is coalescing against the West. They're trying to price us out of living, actually. But when you really understand and understand what manifestation means, it means to make evident. It means to show, to detect. When you look at the root word manifestus, so to make evident or to make certain by showing, you have to actually look beyond the veil. Okay, so what I tell people is do what Stephen Covey said in his works, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Have an abundance mindset. And I know it's difficult when you look at the mainstream media. So sometimes you have to take a step back from the mainstream media and you have to have an abundance mindset or a positive mindset, knowing for yourself that God, the creator, or whomever you believe in as your source will work things out for your good. And the way you can make that evident and to bring it into your manifestation is to think it, to know it, and to speak it and walk in it as if it is already done. So you know that God is for you. And the scripture says if God is for you, he's more than a world against you. So it doesn't matter what the world shows you on mainstream media. You have to know that God is working it out for you, and you have to speak it as such. The scripture says, as a man thinketh, so he is. And the scripture also talks about speaking things that are not as though they are. So speak with your mouth. Speak it, live it, know it, walk in it, think it. I am wealthy. I am prosperous. Everything's working out for my good. And then when you know that from an abundance mindset and from a positive mindset, then there's an old saying that says, the moment you make up your mind, the universe will conspire to assist you. Make up your mind that everything is working out for your good, and then the universe will conspire to assist you by bringing you Gary, by bringing you Casper, by bringing you Dr. Kia Pruitt, by bringing you others who will align with your thinking and show you the beautiful, amazing things that are going on behind the scenes for your good. The beautiful wealth that's about to be brought into your reality. Okay, but if you keep thinking about how bad it is, which is what the mainstream media does, that's what you'll bring into your reality. But we're manifesting wealth. We're manifesting peace. We're manifesting joy. We're manifesting love and all that by thinking it, walking in it, and speaking it.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, and totally agree. I think sort of self-limiting beliefs at the moment are
Yes,
the
sir.
only thing, and I'm speaking from my own, I can't speak on anybody else's behalf, and it would be wrong for me to do so, but I
Yeah.
can feel that the only thing preventing certain movements in my life and certain levels of abundance and whatever are the beliefs that I'm clinging to.
Yes,
Nothing
sir.
in terms of the universe and whatever is preventing us, or certainly me, from being in that level of abundance. So thank you for, and it's very important to speak it. We touched on that
Very,
before, you know,
yeah.
in that humanitarian projects, the conversation that we had that's had such an amazing reception for so long now. And thank you again for that, Kia. But
You're
this thing of
welcome.
speaking it, you know, yeah.
Yeah. And we have evidence, we have evidence that things are actually moving in our behalf or for our behalf. It's just that it's not at the forefront, and if you and I have time, we can just go over a few things in order to inspire and encourage our soul family to look for these things to happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's excellent. Yeah, I'd love to. Yeah.
It's
So go ahead, I'm
certainly some
sorry.
states going back to gold and things, aren't there? And some movement around the BRICS, and we're hearing about Venezuela and Vietnam coming into the news now. So that's quite good. But yeah, go ahead, Kim. What have you got? It's great.
Absolutely. So I'm just going to talk about what you said. In America, 45 states have passed legislation to reclaim silver and gold as money. So the naysayers would say BRICS is moving towards gold and silver, but not America. And my retort to that is that there has already been legislation to repeal or remove the state taxes from precious metal sales. And when you remove the state taxes from precious metal sales, then you are freeing up silver and gold to be used as money, because according to our Constitution for our republic, the only thing that can be used to pay off debts, according to Article 1, Section 10, is silver and gold. So the Constitution has already defined the dollar as a fixed weight in silver. And we know by the Constitution, you can only use silver and gold to pay off debts and to buy goods and services. So in alignment with that, 45 states have taken the liberty to remove the taxes from the sales of precious metals, thus freeing them to be used, because you may not tax money according to our Constitution. So now people who know this information can see that in 45 states, at least, you can use silver and gold right now to pay your property taxes, to buy goods and services. It's just that, again, you have to manifest that or bring that into your reality by going out and using it now that legislation has been passed. The 5 states that remain here in America are New Jersey, New Mexico, Maine, Hawaii, and there's one more, Vermont. But they've all already introduced legislation. It just hasn't been passed. Not that you even need to do that, because the Constitution already for our republic in America states that you have to use silver and gold as money. And then here in America, we have passed legislation in many states to not use central bank digital currencies. They've been ruled unconstitutional. So that's here in America. And then you have the rest of the world, almost all exporting nations that have joined the BRICS coalition to stop trading with the dollar and to actually use silver and gold as money. This is monumental, because by all of these countries that have joined BRICS, joining and stating that they will no longer use the United States dollar, but they will use their own currency, this is evidence, talking about manifestation, evidence that these countries have become sovereign. That means they're walking in their own nationality. They're no longer controlled by the United States Incorporated or those bloodline families or by the British Crown. Now, it feels like we're still being oppressed, but we're just waiting for an official announcement. And in the meantime, we can actually start walking as if it is, and as if these things are so.
We shouldn't
I think that
Zimbabwe in that as well.
Zimbabwe?
Yeah, their new currency, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, the ZIG gold. You're right. The Zimbabwe new currency is now pegged by gold. And Zimbabwe kicked out the United States aid workers. They said, we don't need your aid. We don't need your funding. We don't need your money. Not only do we not need your help, we're kicking out your people who were in our country trying to tell us what to do with our gold. So this is just so exciting.
Yeah, it very much, I get the sense that now people are going to come into their power in the sense of starting to do these things, whether legislation is there or not, because as you rightly say, Keir, it's already part of your the Republic anyway, to be able to, in fact, the only way to be able to actually settle and discharge debts, is it should all be, when it comes to money, at least, it is gold and silver. So.
That's right. Absolutely.
And
Yes,
how
sir.
are you seeing in terms of your own manifestation? I mean, I suppose the thing that a lot of people would say is, "Oh, yeah, but this manifestation, this sounds really hard. There's always the reasons why not." But actually, whatever position you're in now is your manifestation. So if you could just realize, if you could just claim that, bad or good, it doesn't matter. It's the power of the fact that that is your manifestation. And actually, no matter what your position is, just the fact you're in this consciousness, that you've manifested this, you've got a physical form, that you've got a soul, that you can express yourself, that, and it's that you're alive at this amazing point in time, which is both has been horrific, but is also, we're poised for maybe the greatest era ever known. All of those things, if you own that, then it's only just a sort of mental shift, isn't it, to say, well, okay, I'm manifesting already, I may as well have the manifestation that I really want.
And it also depends on how brave you are, how quickly you want to manifest things. Now, let me explain. There are two banks, the two largest banks in America, JP Morgan Chase and the Bank of America. They are slated to lose $4.5 billion this year because a lot of people have decided, I'm not going to pay my credit card anymore. A lot of people have either decided that, made up in their mind, or they just simply can't. And since they cannot pay their credit card debt or their other bank loaned debts, the banks have decided they're going to have to charge them off. And now these banks are having to close. This is what I mean by manifestation. If you're brave enough, you could just stop telling people what to do. But many people have either stopped paying their credit card debt or some of their debts, or because they've lost their jobs, they are not able to. Then the banks have had to close. And so if we start walking in our sovereignty, as if you mentioned, in our own power, and stop being afraid of these entities, these people, like that they're going to kick us out on the street, then we can actually, as a collective, work together to cause the system to crash. If you're not able to do that, or you're just not, some people, because you cannot live in the fear of being kicked out or something like that. But so if you say, I'm not going to stop paying my bills, what you can do is, instead of saying what I can't do, is ask yourself, how can I? Because when you ask yourself, how can I manifest? How can I speed up this process of being free? Then the universe conspires to assist you, and you start to think more positively, and you open your mind. How can I? Okay, maybe I don't want to stop paying off my debts, but I can bring in my family together under one roof. You might not want to, but what if you brought in your mother, your father, your adult children, some cousins, some uncles, some people that you trust, and then you put your finances together and you start paying bills together, or at least you have more money as a group. So we have to stop living in fear, and we have to start taking ownership of our own lives and doing something to bring in the reality that we desire.
Yeah. It's very interesting how much just a change in the mindset or your energy, where you just say, well, okay, I can't do much about it now, but I'm not happy with the situation. Just to say, I'm unagreeing this. Can we do something else about it? And like I say, you'll be surprised what comes into your field then, in terms of helping you out. I wonder, Keir, with the people on your channel, your community that you have, how are they sort of upbeat? I mean, it's interesting that you've got our most popular video actually with that humanitarian project, and I think that's really nice that particular video, even of yours, is top one. That it's there's a lot of people waiting to do good things. So how do you feel with the community that you have?
Yes, I think it's awesome to wait to do good things. And while you're waiting, go over your humanitarian projects because it does something to you when you look at it on paper. It makes you excited. Write down what it is you like to do to help others. Draw pictures about it and start to think about how wonderful that's going to be and attach a joyous emotion to it. So that's for the future. At the same time, you can do that in your current and present reality to help other people. So what I'm seeing is that people become inspired and excited when we have these type of conversations because they know that they're going to help people in the future, and it prepares them for what's going to happen. But what I tell them is start now, either by helping people right now and by going over your humanitarian projects. I have a lot of people that come to my channel for positivity because there's so much negativity going around. And so what I encourage people to do is those things that I've already stated, but also if you feel angst and depression trying to seep in, then be thankful. Think about the things like you mentioned earlier for which you're thankful. Okay. I don't have the Nasara Jasara money now or the trillions of dollars that's going to be ejected into the global economy. However, I have life. I have breath in my body. I have the activity of my limbs. I have my right mind. I'm able to eat for today. I get to see my grandchildren. And the more you start thinking about all the things for which you're grateful, the more joyful you become and the more joy you bring into your reality. So to answer your question, I see people looking forward to what's going to happen and sometimes having to do things to keep their mind encouraged because of all the negativity that's coming out from the mainstream media and because of all the pressure that we're experiencing as a collective. Excuse me.
Yeah, yeah, I totally agree with that, and I get that sense. You just mentioned the mainstream, really, and that was my feeling about all of this at the moment. Is that the mainstream is almost only there to bring you fear and angst. That's its only function. It doesn't even matter if it gives you some snippets of okay news. It's sort of an irrelevance because I think now we have to all be. Gary and I was just speaking about this. You've just got to plow forward and keep going, and you've got to create that world you want to see, come what may, no matter what anybody else is telling you about. If you get into that space, nothing can stop your creation.
Yes, I can give you an example of how I did it in my family. So I have adult children and have 8 children, and we all were having some financial challenges. So what I said was, it makes no sense for everybody to be scattered. So we're going to, and as many of us that can, because some people, live away in a different state, as many of us that can, we're going to come and we're going to all live in one home. Now, I have order in my family and I'm the matriarch, and I like I said, I don't tolerate anything other than order and discipline. So we're going to live under one roof. We're going to put our money together. We're going to pay for one home. And then we're going to put all the money together and we're going to pay for the bills. We're going to pay for the food. And it's interesting how when you put it all together, by us doing that, we have so much more relief, Gary and Casper. And so that frees up some money to maybe buy an ounce of silver. Or and then we're able to also have family meetings and say, well, how are we going to prepare for the future? I know everybody may not be able to do that, but let's start opening up our mind to come together instead of being so divided as a family. It's not the government's job to take care of you. It's not. We've been conditioned to think that. It's not the government's job. It's not your employer's job. It's not the people outside. It's not somebody else's job outside of your bloodline to take care of you. Honestly, it's your job, your responsibility. So as such, why not take ownership and control of the family? Bring your resources together, bring the people, if you're able to, out of the nursing home, if you're able to, bring people home from abroad or from wherever they are and pull together your resources. And I tell you, because we have done that, now we have money that's free for a little savings. We have money that's free to go buy supplies to stock up. And at the same time, we're writing a plan for the future.
Yeah, to get on the same page, even and if you just like me, I don't have a very large family. I'm an only child, and all of those things. If you've got very good friends or other relationships, or can forge those, make those relationships and bring those closer somehow. And also this thing of shopping local, finding farms or food locally, whatever you can do to create that a community that works for you. Not everybody is built to have a lot of people in a single home and to make that sort of commune thing. Not everybody can do that. But what you can do is in your mind sort of reach out and think, well, actually, if I bring in this friend here and I know that person and that person's just very reliable and blah, 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 you can create a network. And I think what you've been able to do is amazing, Kia, and that's the sort of ideal solution. But if you have to be inventive and create your own network that you can rely on and they can rely on you, as you say, there's nobody out there that has to look after you. In the end, sovereignty is about, the great part of sovereignty is the wonderful thing of taking on all your power, coming into your power. The other thing is that there's that responsibility element to it.
Yes, I'm glad you said that. Like you said, and it goes back to what we said earlier. Instead of saying, well, I can't do that. You have a large family, you can do that. I can't. And instead of giving up, ask yourself, how can I? And so, as you said, well, I can go out and I can build relationships in my community. I can figure out where the farms are. I can figure out who fixes shoes, who's the car mechanics, and forge those relationships so that as a community and a collective, we can survive and thrive.
Yeah,
absolutely. And thrive.
Yeah. How are we for time, Gary?
We are running short again. I know Kia's used to doing hours and hours. Or can do.
Have you noticed lately I've been doing 10-minute videos,
Yeah,
12 minutes?
There's a lot to be said for getting that energy condensed into, shorter bursts. But Kia, maybe you'd be kind enough to think about joining us for an expanded chat sometime. But I think it was just so important to get you back on, and it's very pivotal for us to keep injecting this energy, this hope, this realism, not hopium, but this realism about what you can be doing now. Empowerment now just feels we're at a very critical time. And that empowerment and the energy that you bring, I think, is particularly important at the moment, Kia.
Thank you so very much. Together we're stronger, isn't that right? So together, yes. Absolutely. So I'm in America. You guys are where again? In the UK?
We're based near London, so
near London. Okay.
Outside,
and so together we're going to spread this joy, this information, this knowledge, so that we can inspire our soul family. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like ending on that note about the soul family, because I think we've all, in the past few years, we've brought together all those people that we didn't even know were part of our wider family, and that's a beautiful thing. So despite a lot of hardship and a lot of difficult times, let's take all the positives that we've had from this, and knowing you and being plugged into all sorts of people, and this expanded network is a really positive aspect that we can all take forward. So Kia, thank you again for joining, and love to your family and your wider extended family.
Thank you so much. Love to you too, gentlemen. I love you all so very much, and I'm grateful that we have our friendship.
Yeah, we are too.
And if you know anyone, if you can, push that RV to speed it up a little bit, then
Does your family there know about the revaluation of currencies?
It's sort of, well, yeah, they're aware of it. We talk about it, but it's sort of one ear and out the other. But
okay, got it.
I think they're sick of hearing about it.
Right, we want to see it. Right, they want to see evidence.
Until it comes in, then they'll be very interested. So
then they're going to be incredibly interested. Yeah.
Right. Faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen.
Yeah. And we feel it. And more importantly than anything, I think we all feel it. So let's carry that true hope forward.
Yes,
so Kia, on that note, lovely to see you. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and hopefully we catch up very soon.
Yes, sir. I look forward to it. I love you both, Gary and Casper. Have a wonderful day.
Take care.
Likewise, Kia. Take care.
Yes, sir. Okay. Bye-bye.